Welcome back to the Makers of MidCity podcast. I'm your host, Clark Dunn.
I'm Jeremiah Gage, asset manager at RCP Companies.
Yeah, and today we have the opportunity to have Chase Morrow of Techs in the City on the podcast. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
So before we kind of dive into talking about Techs in the City, give us a little background on who you are and kind of how you got involved with what Techs in the City and got this all started.
Sure. Yeah, man, I actually grew up here in Huntsville, Alabama, so that's a very special place in my heart for sure. But been in Birmingham about the last 25, 30 years. I'm on my fifth startup, so I've had 4 startups prior to this, and 4 exits, thank goodness. And on number 5, and while the company's called Deploy, and while building Deploy, my business partner and I got together and created Techs in the City.
And so with 4 startups on your 5th, has it gotten easier doing startups, or is startups still one of those things that, everyone's a little different and kind of the expertise, though it does help with a new one, there's still new nuances that are unique to that particular thing?
Yeah, there's so many factors that you don't have control of, right, that affect things, the economy. I mean, you could name 10 of them, right? But I don't feel like there's any real rinse and repeat model for the perfect startup, in my humble opinion. You're always going to run into different roadblocks, and I don't think they're the same, but I do think once you get them in your blood, and it's what you know, and it's what literally gets you out of bed every single morning. I tell my wife and everybody, I have a very unhealthy passion for startups, and she'll tell you the same thing. It's like, why are you doing it again, right? Yeah. But it's just what gets me out of bed in the morning. The 0 to 1, the 1 to 10, the 10 to 100 is where I'm most happy and most successful at what I do. Once it gets to 100 and maintainable, I get real bored, and I'm not very good at what I do.
And then on to the next.
Yeah. So it's kind of got to go to the next one. I
love it.
Tell everybody I've never met a company I didn't like well enough not to sell it.
Awesome.
All right.
Wow.
It's just what's in my blood.
And so Techs in the City, give us a little bit of a rundown of what that is. I know you've done some pop-ups in Birmingham. You've done one already here at MidCity at the camp. You're doing another one tonight as we're recording this. Talk a little bit about what it is as a whole, and kind of the need that you saw with your partner on creating this thing.
Yeah, we wanted to create a space where real tech talk goes down, right? We're all, we're from the South. I think we're all here from the South, and we're very polite, right? And there's just needed to be a space where people, in my humble opinion, could get together and have real honest conversations about what's going on in tech in our communities, right? And on top of that is building a community where everybody gets better at what they do by offering jobs, offering insight on technology, what they're building, right? It's kind of that you're greater together, better together than you are alone. So why not create this whole community in these different communities that we're passionate about? Huntsville, Birmingham, looking at doing Atlanta as well. Probably Mobile would be on the map as well, but create these communities where people get in and just become better at what they do, because we're all involved together and we're all sharing ideas or code or sharing whatever, right? Like, it's bring it on, man. We're just here to get everybody better at what they do.
Yeah.
Right.
So Jeremiah, talk a little bit about kind of RCP's initial involvement with Techs in the City and kind of how that came about, and the mesh between what MidCity is and what it's kind of become and what it's going to become, and how Techs in the City kind of fits within that.
Yeah. So last year, late last year, I think, at the time I was working a lot with the Apollo Coalition. I still do a lot, but now we have our wonderful managing director, Joanna White, who's
amazing.
Who's running everything. And our founder of RCP, Max Grelier, reached out to me and was like, we need to connect with Chase Morrow. I know him from my past. He's from Huntsville, but he's got this great thing going on in Birmingham called Techs in the City. So we reached out. It was a perfect fit immediately, like connection. We met down in Birmingham. He came up and visited the camp. We decided that was the best place for them to do it. And I think number one, it's a great venue for events like this. And so that's kind of how Techs in the City got mixed in with RCP / the Apollo Coalition. But to more on the vision side of things. So MidCity, we're wanting to make into the hub of innovation and tech in the city of Huntsville and North Alabama in general. And so events like Techs in the City are key to this, because we're trying to draw in the community, the tech community in particular. And we're not only doing Techs in the City, we're doing an event with Code HSV as well. Here in MidCity, we're going to try to do a few just like Techs in the City. So we're trying to really build MidCity into something that's bigger than just a real estate development, right? So it's all part of our long-standing mission to not only build places but build people as well.
Yeah, and I if I remember correctly, when y'all were looking at doing that first event here at the camp, the weather was looking a little bit kind of iffy, and they wanted to maybe move it somewhere else, and you said, "Hey, no, it needs like the camp." What about the camp?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
We're not moving. It just,
Absolutely,
man. It's the vibe here that it's got a vibe to it, right?
Yeah.
Literally. And Max is a good friend, and he's crazy brilliant, and what he's done here is absolutely amazing. And to make this kind of the text music cool place to be in Huntsville, it's got all the right ingredients and it's got all the right brain power behind it. Those are the people I want to party with, right? Yeah. So that's why we did it here. And you got to think about it, man. When we did it here, it was fucking 26 degrees, dude. Do you remember that? It was 26 degrees outside, and I think we had close to 200 people show up.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy.
And then we had not enough heaters. We had to go buy out more heaters because we were like, we got to get this place as warm as possible.
That is true, man. They went and bought a bunch of more heaters and lined them up and packed it in, and you really didn't even realize how cold it was outside. But I think it was 29 degrees actually, but it was cold.
Yeah, freezing.
It was cold.
And so I mean, it's because like that event too. The first event is a little different than the event you're doing tonight.
Yeah.
What was that first event? Obviously, the support from the community was huge.
Yeah.
Even with the weather being as cold as it was. But what was that event, sort of the structure of it and the intent with that being your first event? And then how does that transitioned into this new event on, I guess, June 10th?
Yeah, today, right?
Yeah, today.
Yeah, today's the 10th. The first event we did was more about what's Huntsville look like in 3033. Was that the year?
2035.
2035, that's right. Yeah, 2035, that's right. It's kind of this, Huntsville's always, you look at tech in Huntsville, and it's always been about the government, and that's awesome, man. Thank God they're here, right? Puts a bunch of money back into this city, and they've built some crazy great things and put Huntsville on the map, and we love them and we want them to stay. But also, what about that private startup sector, right? What's really going down in Huntsville? Is it always going to be this government tech town? And that's okay. Like, there's no right or wrong answer. Or can you see some of that government money spinning off and starting some non-government tech companies and making Huntsville the true startup hub for Alabama? Because it certainly has all the ingredients to be so, right? Birmingham does as well. A lot of synergies between Huntsville and Birmingham. I think we should all work together more often for the greater good, right? But it was kind of what's Huntsville look like in 35 years, right? And it was cool. We had a bunch of people on the panel, lots of local guys that I've known for a long time. They're brilliant tech folks, and I think the end result is we want to keep both, right? The government work here is fantastic, and we want to see some non-government startups really come out of Huntsville and hit the big time, man, and spin off more startups. I believe, and I will always believe this, if you've had an exit or several exits, you have a fiscal and a social responsibility to that community that in which you had the exit. And by that I mean you got to give your money and your time back to create more startups, right? And I think once people start doing that and founders start putting their money back into the communities that serve them well, then you'll see things flourish.
Yeah.
And it's got to happen, right? It has to happen. Yeah. Nothing pisses me off more. You see somebody have this great exit in the community and then they pick up and move, or they go start a company in a different city. You're like, dude, the city just built. They're the reason you just got the exit. Like, put your money back into the community that was good to you. Yeah.
I want to add something too. I think what I got most from that first Tex in the City event was that it was authentic, right? It wasn't like your typical forum where the answers are very, let's keep it all like politically correct, I guess, what you could say. But everyone's sitting there being authentic with themselves. You had a debate stage where you had a moderator and you had people from both the defense industry and you had people from like consumer tech, whatever you want to call it, public tech.
Yep.
And they were sitting there debating, and it wasn't like holding back. There was actual like emotion, and it was really, really cool to watch an event like this happen here in MidCity and at the camp. And I'm so thankful to Chase for coming up with an idea like that.
Yeah, and it's not funny, it's real. Like, that's why we started Text in the City, is to have real talk, like authentic talk, like no bullshit, right? Like, what's really going on, and be open and honest about it, because it's the only way we're going to get better at things, right? Instead of sugarcoating and say everything's great and it went down. It went perfectly. Nobody yelled at each other, but there was some passion behind each side. And to me, that's what it takes to build a tech community.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
is honesty, authenticity, and good, smart people.
yeah,
Right.
and I mean, as someone that's been involved with startups and originally from Huntsville and kind of have seen Huntsville grow, even if you were in Birmingham, I mean, it's you were probably traveling during this growth that Huntsville has had. Do you think that the landscape for startups, for tech in Huntsville has shifted and made it more accessible to people coming out of college or in college or even maybe in their career, maybe for the government that wanted to do something else? Do you think the landscape's gotten easier for that, or is there just more conversations that are being had so that it's more readily accessible for them?
So hey, look, I'm going to speak out of turn maybe because I haven't spent as much time here as I should. But you look up, like when I grew up, I think this was a cow field, right? Like Huntsville's just exploded, right? But you've got groups like Generator that you guys are involved with that are doing great things for startups. So I think that's what it takes to get it started.
Yeah.
I think Huntsville, outside of Huntsville, still has the label of it's a government town, government city. It's not a town anymore; it's a city. But I think that's changing, right? And I think when really good, smart people get together, like Max and Generator and Jeremiah, and you build things like MidCity here, that's how those things take root, right?
Yeah.
People who are really authentic and passionate about what they're doing to build a community. I haven't personally, I can't remember a place in Huntsville that was kind of built for startups and community yet, right? MidCity certainly has that vibe to me. And I think that's where greatness starts, right? That's where people from out of town want to go to Huntsville to start a company because of things like this.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I think there's so much, I think having developments like this that change the landscape of Huntsville showcase to the people in Huntsville, people coming to Huntsville, that Huntsville's is adaptive for change.
It is.
You can do something outside of the norm. And I think kind of setting that stage and having the partnerships that RCP and MidCity have with Generator and with y'all and just all of those things working together is really where success happens.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that first event was sort of the panel event, kind of giving a landscape of what it looks like in the next, 10, 20 years here in Huntsville. This event that's tonight, that will obviously be done prior to this episode being released, is a little structured a little differently. Talk a little bit about what that event is and sort of the need that you saw in structuring an event like this.
Yep. So I think we've done 6 in Birmingham. I think the last one was number 6. We ran a cool place called Workplay. That's where we do it it's got a Workplay is very special to me. Been doing stuff there for a long time. The guys that own it are great, right? But the last one we did was it was kind of a codathon, right? They had a certain amount of time to build something that we gave them, and the ones that built it the quickest wins, right? And it was cool because the audience gets involved and there's this energy about in the room, right? And that's what we decided to do here, right? Make it a little bit more competitive. AI is AI is all over the place, right? So it's the concept, and I won't get this 100% correct because my business partner wrote the prompts and everything, but it's literally, can you build a business from scratch in 60 minutes, right? They have 1 hour to use AI to build a business from idea to concept to go to market type of get ready, right? And the one that builds it the quickest, the fastest, and the best will be judged, and we crown them a winner, right?
So what is the target audience for something like this? Like, are you targeting college students? Are you targeting young professionals? Are you targeting, is it a broad net you're casting?
Yeah, it's all of the above. Matter of fact, if I remember correctly, and forgive me if this is incorrect, but I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure that Sierra and Rochelle from Generator, one of the teams they brought in are actually high school students, right? Which is going to be super cool. Matter of fact, I hope they win. I'm pulling for I'd love to see the high school kids come in and kick the old people's ass and walk away with the prize, right? But yeah, so it's from high school people to, people that have had multiple exits. It's kind of across the board. It's for anybody who wants to be part of a movement that's kind of something bigger than themselves, right? To really get behind the community aspect of it.
Yeah.
There is some competition in this one, but the whole idea is built to build community. We're community builders, man. And we've built it in built it in Birmingham, and now we're building it in Huntsville with great partners like Jeremiah and Max.
And this goal, I was looking at y'all's website prior to the conversation. So Birmingham was sort of that the initial start. You've done the most events there.
Mm-hmm.
Huntsville, you've started to grow into. You're looking at other sort of things. What is the perfect fit in your mind, the perfect city in your mind? What does it have? Maybe not just like specific cities, but what is the characteristics of a city or of a town that fits what Tex in the City is trying to do?
Sure. First and foremost, it's they got to have the appetite for startups, right? Like there's some cities you just don't get the vibe, right? That they're not. I don't say they're not startup friendly. They don't have the passion for the startup community that we do. I felt 100% comfortable with that after talking to Max and meeting Jeremiah and looking at what y'all have built here, that the passion is 100% present, right? You could kind of feel it when you walk in, right? So one is they got to have the passion for startups, right? And that means you got to have the passion for risk and everything that comes with startups, and not be afraid to make mistakes and really just build something special. And we 100% felt that here in MidCity for sure. We're looking at Atlanta as well. My business partner, Matt McKenzie, lives in Atlanta, and he's got a pretty big following there's a lot of groups in Atlanta. It's busy. Yeah. It's noisy, right? But there's a lot of tech going on in Atlanta. And then my next pin on the map would probably be Mobile, just because then we would have Alabama's more important to me, right? Just because I'm been here all of my life and I'm very passionate about it. Then we would have, South Alabama. Then we would have Central Alabama and Birmingham, and then obviously North Alabama, Huntsville. So we'd have the whole state covered on the Tex in the City type stuff, right?
And how, I mean, that crowdedness that maybe Atlanta has or Nashville has or other bigger cities maybe have within the tech scene, or is it strategic in what you and your business partner are doing and finding these maybe pockets within these cities that maybe the city itself's crowded, but this pockets has the need and has a or is it, how strategic is that approach when you're looking at maybe Mobile? Because I know Mobile has Innovation Portal down there in Mobile, Todd Greer over there, so like talk a little bit about
I need to meet him, by the way.
Oh yeah,
he's hooked up.
I did a podcast a couple years ago, and I actually met him. He's a super great guy.
I've heard good things
and
about
their space is amazing. And so I think how strategic is it with the crowdedness of a city? Because I think when people think of startups, Atlanta or Nashville come to mind.
They do.
But you're wanting to make Alabama on that radar of places and where startups can succeed and flourish.
Yeah. So what's most important, selfishly to me, and it's not selfish, it's just what I care about most, right? But is doing these things in Alabama, right? I'm looking forward to Atlanta. There's no doubt, because there is some cool stuff going down in Atlanta. Atlanta Tech Village, David Cummins, I believe is his name, and they're doing some incredible things, right? My partner Matt's real connected in Atlanta, and I do think you can find some pockets where you can create a community that has not yet been created, right? And I think you do have to move into some of those larger cities at some point. So Atlanta's exciting to me. But I'm more excited about anything that's done in Alabama, right? Huntsville, especially Birmingham, especially, and again, Mobile is certainly on my radar next, right? Yeah.
And it's I think the partnership with RCP, MidCity, and Tex in the City, you're having this pocket that you were looking for, maybe was here a little bit probably prior to MidCity, but has really become elevated because of what MidCity has done.
100%.
And so the spot and the timing is the most important thing. Like, yes, you could definitely have been successful years ago, starting this in Huntsville, absolutely. But now we're kind of on that cusp where it's like the eyeballs looking at us and the diverse population that Huntsville has, is perfect fit now for it. Obviously, we're not that far into the construction of MidCity. There's a lot of things that have happened in MidCity, but we're quarter of the way through, give or take.
Yeah. This place is amazing.
Yeah.
You just get out and walk around. You're like, holy cow. And it's just getting started, right? Like, that's what's the amazing part of it. What does it look like in 2 years? Like,
what are you most excited for on that front? Because, this is something that you're wanting to do multiple events and continue to kind of grow popularity and create some sort of a presence here in Huntsville, continue to grow events and do new and exciting events. What are you looking forward to most with the future of MidCity and this partnership that you have with them?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that question, Jeremiah. I was just letting him know, like, we've created this, and it's actually June 27th. So in Birmingham, they do a slot. It's called Sloss Tech. It's a 3-day. This year, it's going to be a 3-day tech event. And a good friend of mine, Dion Gordon, and Tech Birmingham put this on. It's an amazing tech event. Right, started as a 1-day event, grew into a 2-day event. This year, it's actually a 3-day event. It's June 25th, 26th, and 27th. And it is insane, man. It's 3 days of tech. We fly in crazy speakers from all over the place. It's a blast, man, and they do it top notch, right? Innovate Alabama is a group that's heavily involved in it, and they do fantastic work. But it's become kind of the Southeast tech event, right? And so I'm a big music fan, man. I'm big into music. I think music and tech go hand in hand together, right? So this year, for the first time, we're ending Sloss Tech with a music festival called Chin Digital.
Wow.
And it is owned by Techs in the city as well. Myself and my business partner own the music festival part of it. So we'll end the 3-day tech event with a great music event, kind of bringing this South by Southwest vibe to Birmingham, right? That's how South by Southwest started, right? It's actually the other way around, if I remember. It's a music event that became a tech event, if I remember correctly. But either way, and now it's massive, right? And so what I want to do is I do think that's a rinse and repeatable model, right? That Techs in the city, wherever we plant our flag to become passionate about a certain community, such as Huntsville, you can bring that tech and music, Shin Digital, to that space. And in talking with Jeremiah and Max, you got this beautiful amphitheater that was brought here, right? There's a connection with music and tech. And
sure.
In speaking with Max too, he feels that connection and has a passion of bringing that connection to Huntsville. And there's no better avenue or conduit than Techs in the city to start doing those things, right? So in these cities that we're in, you bring in this Techs in the city, you make it successful, and then you bring in the music event on top of that, right? And MidCity, to me, seems to be all about community, 100%, neighbors living together, tech, startups, and music, right?
Yeah.
So it's just fit perfect, man.
Yeah.
Like,
And I mean,
couldn't have asked for a better place to do it, because our vision and our mindset's already the same, right? There's no conversations going on about where could we head with this thing. It's kind of already there.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, Jeremiah, talk a little bit about, and you kind of alluded to it from Chase's perspective, but from RCP and kind of, and the work you're doing here at MidCity, what do you see as kind of the sky's the limit as far as what y'all can do together here in MidCity? What are you looking forward to, and what is the RCP team looking forward to with this partnership, and kind of how they see it continuing to blossom on their end?
Yeah, well, first off, I know this is going to be posted after the event tonight, but we're excited that Techs in the City will hopefully be back again and again and again to MidCity. We're hoping to have, we have the camp currently. We're open to have, obviously more venues. We're moving the camp over there into, so eventually we'll have an even better space to be able to, and bigger space to be able to host Techs in the City. And I think this is just the beginning. I mean, this started January 2025, right? And I'm hoping we're here again in 2035. We're talking about the exact same thing. It's become this beautiful event with thousands of people. That's our vision, right? We're wanting to bring the community together, and that includes the tech community. I mean, initially when Max and Remy came up with the Apollo Coalition, right? That was the goal here, was that Huntsville had all these geniuses, all these extremely smart people, but they didn't know how to bring them together. And Remy, one of our founders and partners, actually exited a startup and sold it for a lot of money. And then, but his one qualm he had being in Huntsville in the startup is that he didn't know how to do it. And he needed someone to teach him how to run a business, right? He knew all the tech. He knew how to put together a product, but he didn't know how to sell it. He didn't know the financials behind it. And so that's what we partnered with Generator, with Techs in the City, because we want to educate those people in Huntsville, all these extremely intelligent people, how to make a business out of their products, out of their ideas. And so I'm hoping that through these partnerships with Techs in the City, Generator, Innovate Alabama, Sweet Home Alabama grant, that we can continue to do this and grow this into something that's not only impacts Huntsville, not only the state of Alabama, but the United States as a whole.
Yeah. I
Absolutely.
mean, as the people that are going to be listening to this, there's probably going to be some of them that have this idea to get into a startup. With your success that you've had, is kind of our final question. Is there a piece of advice or a lesson learned that you think at any level of startup, just thought to, your 0 to 10, whatever it might be, that you wish you could instill into anybody that's listening that has this idea?
Yeah, so I would say number one, just do it, right? Like you just got to jump in it and go in it with both feet, and you have to be, and your family has to be ready for it, right? Because man, you're gonna miss, if you have kids, you're gonna miss football games, you're gonna miss baseball games, you're gonna miss choir prayer, you're gonna miss those things, especially in that 0 to 10 part of the startup, and you just got to be ready for it, right? Like you've got to know that that's just going to happen, right? And a lot of people aren't cut out for that. I get it, right? It's not for everybody, but if you get your head around it and just realize that the 0 to 10 is the hardest part, but it's the most fun to me, right? Everything else will work out. Yeah. And then secondly, I would say align yourself with good people, right? It's all about the people, man. Like find good mentors, find good investors, find good partners, and make sure y'all's morals, values, ethics, everything aligned together. And you can do great things, man.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being here. We'll be sure to have everything in the episode notes, links to Text in the City, links to anything that we've talked about, so people can find out more information, find ways to connect with you. But I appreciate you being here today.
Hey, I'm thrilled. And listen, I hear you're the podcast man of Huntsville, Alabama. So I'm privileged to be sitting here. I've heard great things. So thanks.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.